So I'm here today because I have a little bit of a controversial topic. So I'm here to talk about the number one thing that gets in the way of you having tons of time, and it's your to-do list. So one of my clients a couple of weeks ago was messaging me and she's like, hey, I know you don't really like to-do lists, but I feel so productive because I can just like cross things off the list. And so I just wanted to be clear first that I'm not opposed to lists in general. Like, I think it's good to keep track of what you're doing, etc. But I've actually had people come to me where they literally have like to-do lists, and then they have a book that's like the to-do list for the to-do list. And if you relate to this, you can like wave your hand or pop in a yes, like that's me. And this is getting in the way of you actually being able to do the things that are actually important to do every single day. And honestly, feeling like you have enough time to finish everything that you do every day. So you can actually feel at ease in the evening. You can feel complete. You can have time to move your body. You can do all the things that actually you care about most. And so I'm here to tell you why your to-do list is getting in the way. I don't know about you, but when you look at a to-do list, have you noticed the first things you like to do? The easy ones, like the easy things, you're like, oh, I can check those off. I'm gonna do the really simple things. Are those the most important things? That's my question to you. Are those the most important, most essential things for you to do? And this is where it starts to get important to preserve your brain power and your headspace for the things that are actually kind of difficult. And those are the things, when you have a to-do list, go to the very bottom. For me too. Like, I get my list in the morning and I'm like, well, I don't really want to do XYZ because that's kind of hard. That's like a hard project. I have to really think about that one. I have to really focus to get that one done. So I'm just going to answer some emails. I'm going to, respond to a couple of things, and I'm just going to kind of let my day slide by that way. And I'm telling you today that actually what you could do is start to flip this and start to use, and this is actually going to help you start to cue up your inner hearing and your intuition, is to actually start to be the one who is listening for what's the most important thing rather than following what your to-do list has to say. And so this is one of the best ways to do this. And I do this, and I've talked about this question before, but it's one I think that many of us forget. But the question is, what is the time for me to do right now? And that right now turns your brain's like a computer, it's always going to process questions. So if you turn your brain into this question of what is it time for me to do right now, it actually will start to respond like, what is it time for me to do right now? And then you actually get a number, and it's usually like 1 to 5. And then 1 to 5, and then you actually start to lay out what the priorities are for your day. And so you can do this without looking at your schedule. You can do this without looking at your to-do list. And you may find, and I know for myself, when I ask myself that question, I frequently find on that list, moving my body, writing that piece of that email that's actually really important, doing things that are actually essential rather than just doing all the things that are relatively easy. And so I'm sharing this with you because then what happens, I find every time, is that I end up having a lot more space and time because I've gotten the hard things done or the essential priorities done, and I actually end up being done with my list a lot earlier than I think. Like, all those other little small tasks end up magically getting finished when I've made sure my priorities are set. And then all of a sudden I have a lot of space and time and I can go move my body, or maybe moving my body was on the list, or I really just have more energy and focus. So that's one of those things for you all to do. It's not about feeling productive. I get it. Like, you like crossing those things off the list, but actually not letting your to-do list determine how your day is going, but you starting to use your inner hearing and starting to cue yourself up into what is it actually time for you to do, and then following that course of action instead. So try it out, see how it goes, see if you actually are able to find a lot more time and space in your day by doing it that way. I know many of you are just high achieving women, super busy, you've got tons going on with work and career. And so when you do that, you may find, well, what I need to do right now is like attend all these meetings and just be fully committed to what's happening at work. Well, also, the other priority is like during my breaks, I'm hanging with my kids or working on whatever needs to happen. But I just want you to start to experiment with this question and see if it actually can help you start to tune up into the highest priorities. And then you can just actually be kinder to yourself around the rest of the things that don't happen. And then just see what happens. See if you can have more ease and more space in your day and not be putting pressure on yourself or feeling guilty for things you didn't do, but instead knowing that you actually prioritize the things that are the most important to you movement and energy and family and doing the things that matter most to you. All right, so pop any questions in below, comment below. I want to hear from you. Let me know how it goes. What is it time for right now? And sharing how it goes when you actually put your to-do list aside and you get to decide and determine what your priorities are. All right, thanks, y'all.